Welcome back to the Scalable Expert Podcast. I am thrilled that you're here for today's episode. We're going to talk about your engagement strategy versus your conversion strategy and how a small shift will change your business. Because here's the reality: you post consistently and have real engagement. People comment, they share, they send DMs to say the content resonated. You have built visibility in your niche, but your conversion rates don't match those engagement numbers. Customers who find you through referrals close way faster than the people who have been following you for over a year. Followers who say they love your content are still not sure if now is the right time. You've checked the offer, you've checked the pricing, you've wondered about the funnel, and the gap is still there. I want to name what is actually causing this because it is not what the market will tell you it is. So let's talk about the frustration first. The DMs, the I love your content comments, and then silence. They don't take the next step. The person who messaged never actually buys anything. Compare that to the person who found you through a referral last week. They came in, already decided. The call took about 20 minutes, and they were ready to go at the end of it. The person who's been following you, though, for 14 months or a year or whatever, engage in almost everything that you do. They are still thinking about whether this is the right fit. So let's be honest. The mental model the market gives you is to just build a better funnel, a more clear CTA, have higher volume, find a different platform, pay for ads. What happened when you tried those things is the gap hasn't changed. Because the real question is, if the content is good and engagement is real, why are the wrong people converting or not converting at all? What does someone with fewer followers and a smaller audience have that I'm missing? And is the answer that I'm not consistent enough, not good enough, not visible enough? The answer I want to give you today is no. It's actually none of those things. The answer is simpler because it's more structural. So here is a clear behavior pattern. When someone finds you through a referral, they arrive with a specific context. They see themselves in your methodology, and the conversation is just a formality. They're not deciding whether you're credible. The question was answered before they even jumped on a call with you. When someone has been following your content, they arrive with a different understanding. They may find you interesting and they may value your perspective. But at the moment of investment, they have to decide whether now is the right time to trust you with their specific problem. That is a different decision. It requires more activation energy. The difference is not about you, it is about what the content has been making visible. Here is the structural truth. There are two things content can make visible. It can make the person more visible, or it can make your methodology more visible. Both produce real engagement, but only one produces customers who already arrive convinced and ready to buy. Content that leads with the person builds an audience around the expert. People follow because the perspective is compelling. At the moment of conversion, they have to decide, is this person the right guide for me right now? But content that leads with the methodology builds authority around your path. People self-identify. They place themselves on the map. At the moment of conversion, they have already answered the question. They are there to confirm the decision, not to make a decision. The most important sentence you can write for your business is not the hook. It's the sentence that names the exact situation your ideal customer is living in and the language they would use to describe it themselves. Not your description of the problem, their words reflected back with a clarity that they have not been able to articulate on their own. When they read that sentence, they stop. They think, who told them about that was about me? That is the moment the methodology becomes visible. And that moment is what changes who converts. Now, let me name the model for you. Magnetic expert positioning is not about being the most visible expert, not the loudest, not the one with the largest following, the one whose content makes the right customer immediately self-identify. What IP-led content looks like in practice is teaching the methodology specifically, naming the stages, letting potential customers see where they currently are on the path before they ever speak to you. the content test. When your ideal customer reads a post, do they think this person is impressive? Or do they think this person is describing exactly where I am? The first response leads to followers, the second leads to investment. This does not require abandoning what is already working. IP led visibility and personality led visibility can coexist. The shift is in what leads, not everything. The posts designed to convert leads with the methodology. The posts that build connection lead with the person. I remember when I first started this podcast, I had a lot of people who told me that they loved the content that I was putting out there. The tips and strategies were really helping them in their business. But these are the same people who weren't converting into my higher level programs. They believed that I had the expertise and valued what I shared, but they didn't get it, right? They didn't see the journey to results that I was taking my customers on, from the problem they had to the transformation that they desired. But because I was creating helpful tips and not connecting the dots into a pathway that they could see themselves on, it wasn't clear enough. But once I formally packaged my expertise, named it, showed it visually, the conversation started to change. Customers came to sales conversations just asking about logistics and not whether or not they would be the right fit or if this was the right time. That is when everything started to shift. All right, so before I let you go, one thing: if everything in your business still runs through you, if you are the reason it works and the reason it can't grow, that is not a hustle problem. It is just a structural one, and it has a name. The fastest way to see yours is to take the free Scalable Expert Audit. This is just 10 questions, takes about 3 minutes or so. You'll see exactly which of the three systems is your current gap. In the show notes below, you will find the link to go ahead and take that audit. It will help you as you continue to listen through this month's podcast episodes. If you loved this episode, give it a rating and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. All right, until next time.